The scout ship Stellar Observer drifted silently at the edge of Earth's solar system. Its sleek, crystalline hull reflected the distant sunlight as Commander Marcus stood at the bridge, his tall frame casting a long shadow across the holographic displays. The readings before him seemed almost laughable. Nuclear power, primitive chemical rockets. He shook his head, mandibles clicking in amusement. They haven't even colonized their own moon properly. His second-in-command, Officer Reed, floated the latest scan results onto the main screen. Sir, they do have some interesting orbital installations, several thousand satellites, space stations, and a considerable amount of debris. Marcus waved his hand dismissively. Typical pre-FTL civilization clutter. Nothing worth reporting to the Council as a concern. He paused, studying the detailed atmospheric readings. Though their world would make an excellent addition to our territories. Rich in resources, stable star, good position. The scout ship's sensors continued their passive scan, collecting data about Earth's defensive capabilities. Their advanced systems picked up radio chatter, radar emissions, and the occasional test launch of what the humans called interceptor missiles. What the sensors didn't detect, however, were the countless microscopic observers watching them back. Deep within the Rocky Mountains, in a facility that officially didn't exist, Admiral James Gray stood before a wall of holographic displays. Each screen showed different angles of the alien vessel, captured by technology that humanity had kept hidden for over a century. "What's their status?" he asked, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of the screens. Dr. Anna Wells, her gray hair tied back in a neat bun, gestured to one of the displays. "They're still running basic scans. As expected, they're completely fooled by our surface technology. The quantum masking field is working perfectly. They see exactly what we want them to see." Gray nodded slowly. Humanity had learned long ago that the best defense wasn't showing strength, but appearing weak while hiding overwhelming power. They had watched other civilizations rise and fall in the galaxy, learning from each mistake, each conquest, each extinction. "They're transmitting something back to their home system," one of the technicians announced. Dr. Wells pulled up the intercepted transmission, the alien encryption crumbling before Earth's quantum computers in milliseconds. She read the translation aloud. "Preliminary scan complete. Planet designation: Sol 3. Civilization: Pre-FTL. Technology level: nuclear age. Military capability: minimal. Recommendation: suitable for standard integration protocol." Gray's expression remained neutral, but his eyes hardened. Standard integration protocol. That's what they called it on New Eden, too, before they glassed half the colony. The room fell silent. Everyone present knew the history. How humanity had discovered the ruins of New Eden centuries ago. How they'd learned about the Galactic Council's integration of younger civilizations. It was why Earth had chosen isolation, hidden their true capabilities, and prepared. "Sir," another technician called out, "we're detecting quantum wake signatures. More ships are coming." Gray straightened his uniform. "And so it begins. Send the warning. One time only, as planned." Dr. Wells typed quickly, and moments later, Earth's message beamed out across all frequencies, in all known galactic languages. "We come in peace. Maintain distance. This is your only warning." Back on the Stellar Observer Commander Marcus received the transmission. He played it again, amused by the primitive attempt at diplomacy. "They detected us and managed to send a message. How quaint," he chuckled. "Send word to the Council. This system is right for integration. Recommend the 3rd Battle Fleet. That should be more than enough to overwhelm their defenses." Officer Reed complied, though something about the human's message bothered him. It wasn't pleading or aggressive, just certain. As the scout ship prepared to leave, its sensors recorded one last image of Earth, a beautiful blue marble, seemingly defenseless in the vast darkness of space. The massive orbital defense grid, powered down and perfectly cloaked, remained invisible. The billions of nanoscale defenders floating in the asteroid belt went unnoticed, and the quantum shield matrix, capable of absorbing the energy of a supernova, stayed hidden within the planet's magnetic field. Earth watched the scout ship leave, its people neither afraid nor angry. They had given their warning. What happened next would be the Council's choice. And their mistake. 3 days after the scout ship's departure, Earth's deep space sensors detected the quantum ripples of multiple ships entering the solar system. The third battle fleet of the Galactic Council emerged from faster-than-light travel in perfect formation, 500 warships strong, their hulls gleaming with powerful energy weapons. Admiral Gray watched them arrive from his command center. He sipped his coffee, the same calm routine he followed for 20 years in service. "They brought exactly what we expected," Dr. Wells said, examining the fleet composition on her screens. "Their arrogance is almost disappointing." One of the younger officers shifted nervously. "Sir, shouldn't we power up our defenses?" Gray set down his coffee cup. "No need, Lieutenant. Let them think they have the advantage. After all," he smiled slightly, "we did warn them." On the Council flagship Imperial Dawn Fleet Commander Peters stood proudly on his command deck. At nearly 8 feet tall, with scaled skin that shimmed in the ship's lights, he cut an imposing figure. The sight of Earth through his viewport filled him with anticipation. A primitive world with such resources, he mused aloud. The Council will be pleased with this acquisition. His tactical officer approached with a datapad. "Sir, we've completed our initial combat scans. Their orbital defenses are pathetic. Outdated satellites, primitive weapons platforms, and excessive debris. They don't even have energy shielding." Peters nodded, mandibles clicking in satisfaction. "Prepare the standard integration broadcast. Let's see if they're wise enough to surrender." The massive fleet moved closer to Earth, their formation spreading out to display their overwhelming power. The broadcast went out in all Earth languages. "People of Earth, you have been chosen to join the Galactic Council. Your technology is primitive, your defenses inadequate. Surrender now and accept integration. Resist, and we will be forced to demonstrate our power. You have 24 hours to comply." In the Rocky Mountain Command Center, Admiral Gray watched his staff maintain their positions calmly. Years of training had prepared them for this moment. Signal detected from their flagship, a communications officer reported. "They're requesting a direct response." Gray nodded. "Put me through." He straightened his uniform and faced the communication screen. The alien commander's image appeared, looking down with what humans had learned was their expression of superiority. "I am Fleet Commander Peters of the Galactic Council, who speaks for Earth. I am Admiral Gray. We speak as one." Gray's voice was steady, almost friendly. "I trust you received our warning 3 days ago." Peters made a dismissive gesture, a primitive attempt at diplomacy. "You cannot hope to resist the Council's power. I offer you one chance to surrender peacefully." Gray's expression didn't change. "We already gave you our message. Maintain distance. This is your only warning. Nothing has changed. You dare threaten the Council's third battle fleet with your primitive weapons." Peters laughed, a harsh clicking sound. "Perhaps a demonstration is needed. Target their largest satellite installation." In orbit, one of the alien destroyers fired a plasma beam at an old weather satellite. The beam passed through empty space. The satellite was a hologram, one of millions of false targets scattered throughout Earth's orbit. Dr. Wells watched the sensors. "They're still completely blind to our true defenses. The quantum masking field is holding perfectly." Gray nodded. "Send our final message. After that, maintain complete silence." The message that went out was simple, broadcast on all frequencies. Final warning. Any hostile action against Earth will be met with immediate response. There will be no further communication. Peters received the message on his bridge and laughed again. "Their bravery is amusing. Prepare all ships for combat operations. We'll begin the integration at dawn." What Peters couldn't see was the slight smile on Admiral Gray's face as he gave his own orders. Activate Defense Protocol Omega. Silent running until they make their move. Throughout the solar system, invisible defenses hummed to life, their power carefully masked. Billions of nanoscale weapons stirred in the asteroid belt. The quantum shield matrix pulsed silently within Earth's magnetic field. Earth was ready. The Council's fleet had no idea they had just armed the galaxy's deadliest trap. Dawn broke over North America as the alien fleet moved into attack position. Their ships formed a perfect sphere around Earth, a display of military precision meant to intimidate. The morning sun glinted off their crystalline hulls, creating an artificial light show visible even from the ground. In cities across Earth, people went about their daily lives as usual. They had trained for this moment for generations. Children attended schools, workers went to offices, and farmers tended their fields. The only sign that anything was different was the occasional upward glance at the sparkles in the sky. Fleet Commander Peters stood at his command station, watching Earth's cities through high-resolution scans. "Look at them," he said to his bridge crew. "They're not even trying to evacuate their population centers. Either they're foolish, or they're arrogant." "Sir," his tactical officer finished. "Final fleet position achieved. All weapons are charged and ready." Peters nodded, his scaled skin reflecting the bridge lights. "Let's give them one last chance to be reasonable. Open a channel to their command." Deep in the Rocky Mountain facility, Admiral Gray sat at his desk, actually doing paperwork. The incoming communication alert flashed on his screen. He took another sip of coffee before answering. Peters' massive form appeared on the screen. "Admiral Gray, your time is up. I see your people haven't even taken basic precautions. Do you care so little for their safety?" Gray looked up from his papers. "Commander Peters, I'm a bit busy with administrative work. Is there something urgent you need?" Peters' mandibles clicked in anger. "Administrative? Are you mocking the Third Battle Fleet?" "Not at all," Gray replied calmly. "We're just having a normal day. As I said before, maintain your distance, or there will be consequences. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have forms to sign. You'll sign surrender documents when I'm done. All ships, prepare tow." Gray cut the transmission and turned to Dr. Wells, who stood nearby. "I think that went well." She nodded, checking readings on her tablet. "The nanite swarms are in position. Quantum shields are ready but masked. They still haven't detected anything unusual." On the asterisk, Imperial Dawn asterisk, Peters was furious. "How dare they dismiss us like this? All ships, move to strike formation Alpha. Target their major cities first. Let's see how calm they remain when their capitals are in flames." The alien fleet began to move, their ships' engines glowing brightly against the Earth's atmosphere. Energy weapons charged, missile bays opened, and targeting systems locked onto Earth's largest cities. "Sir," the tactical officer called out, "I'm detecting some strange readings from their orbital debris field." "Ignore it," Peters commanded. "It's just their primitive satellites. Begin the attack countdown." In the command center, Gray finally set aside his paperwork. "Status report. Enemy fleet is in optimal position, sir," a young officer reported. "They've activated weapons systems and shields. Their power signatures are exactly where we want them." Dr. Wells pulled up a holographic display showing the fleet's position. "The nanite swarms have mapped every ship's vital systems. Quantum targeting is locked. We can end this in moments." Gray stood up, straightening his uniform. "Let's give them one last chance. Send the automated warning." Throughout the alien fleet, every screen and communication device suddenly displayed the same message in bright red text. "Final notice. You are in violation of Earth's defensive perimeter. Withdraw immediately. This is your final opportunity." Peters laughed at the message. "Their bravery is almost admirable. Begin the attack sequence. Show them what real power looks like." The alien fleet's weapons powered up to maximum, their energy signatures blazing against the darkness of space. 500 ships prepared to fire as one, ready to demonstrate the Council's might. They never noticed the slight shimmer in space around their ships, or the millions of microscopic machines that had already infiltrated their vessels. They didn't detect the quantum field that had mapped every weakness in their shields. Earth's defenders watched silently as the alien fleet prepared to fire. In the Rocky Mountain Command Center, Admiral Gray finally set down his coffee cup. "Log the time," he said quietly, "and may history remember that we warned them." The true battle was about to begin, and only one side knew what was really about to happen. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility unknown even to most of Earth's population, Dr. Wells stood before a massive wall screen. It showed a live map of every alien ship, their internal systems laid bare by Earth's advanced scanning technology. "Beautiful, isn't it?" she said to Admiral Gray, who had just arrived through the quantum transport system. 3 centuries of preparation, and they have no idea what they're actually facing. The Admiral walked to a central platform where a hologram showed Earth's true defensive grid. Hidden beneath the illusion of satellites and space debris lay humanity's greatest achievements. "Begin the systems check," Gray ordered. "Show me everything." The first layer of defense lit up on the display. What the aliens saw as a simple magnetic field around Earth was actually a quantum shield matrix, powerful enough to absorb the energy of a dying star. Thousands of micro-generators hidden in the Van Allen radiation belts powered it, each one smaller than a grain of sand, but containing the energy of a nuclear reactor. "Shield strength at 100%, a technician reported. "The alien scans still show only normal magnetic activity." Dr. Wells moved her hands through the hologram, revealing the second layer. "The nanite swarms are fully deployed. We have approximately 47 billion units in place." The display showed clouds of microscopic machines, each one thinner than a human hair. They had been disguised as normal space debris, floating harmlessly around the alien ships. But each tiny robot carried enough quantum-based weaponry to eat through alien hull material like acid through paper. "How many ships have been infected?" Gray asked. "All of them, sir." The nanites entered through their engine exhaust ports. Standard Council design. They never changed their basic ship architecture. In a secure room nearby, the quantum computer core processed data from Earth's true satellite network. Not the primitive communication devices the aliens could see, but advanced stealth platforms that had mapped every detail of the Council's fleet. "Show me their weapons capability," Gray requested. A new hologram appeared, breaking down the alien fleet's firepower. Their energy weapons, while impressive by Council standards, were based on technology Earth had surpassed a century ago. Their shields, designed to stop physical weapons and energy beams, were useless against Earth's quantum phase technology. "They really haven't improved much in 300 years, Dr. Wells noted. "Not since we found the ruins of New Eden." Gray nodded solemnly. The discovery of that destroyed colony had changed humanity's path forever. While other civilizations expanded openly into space, humanity had chosen to hide its progress. They built in secret, developed technologies that worked on entirely different principles, and prepared for the day the Council would come. In orbit, the alien fleet continued its battle preparation, completely unaware of the true situation. Their sensors showed only what Earth wanted them to see, a primitive civilization with basic space technology. They couldn't detect the quantum fold space around their ships, ready to redirect their weapon fire back at them. They didn't notice the microscopic constructors that had already mapped every weakness in their fleet. Most importantly, they had no idea that Earth had been reading their tactical databases since they arrived, courtesy of quantum infiltration programs that moved faster than their computer systems could process. "Sir," a young officer called out, "the alien fleet is moving their weapons to full power. They'll be ready to fire in 5 minutes." Admiral Gray straightened his uniform. "Begin power-up sequence for the defense grid. Keep all systems masked until my command." Dr. Wells checked her final readings. "Remember when we found those ruins on New Eden? The council thought they were being merciful by giving them a chance to surrender. "Yes," Gray replied, his voice firm. "And that's why we won't make the same mistake." They had their warning. Around Earth, hidden defenses hummed to life. In the asteroid belt, weapon platforms disguised as rocks prepared to fire. The quantum shields strengthened, still invisible to alien scans. Earth's greatest deception was about to end, and the galaxy's balance of power would change forever. Fleet Commander Peters stood proudly on his bridge as the final attack countdown began. "Let them see our true power," he commanded. "All ships, fire on my mark." The alien fleet's weapons charged to maximum power, energy building in their crystalline hulls until they glowed like artificial stars. 500 ships prepared to fire as one, their targeting systems locked onto Earth's major cities. "Fire," Peters ordered. 500 energy beams shot toward Earth, each powerful enough to level a city. The bridge crew of the Imperial Dawn watched with satisfied smiles, expecting to see explosions light up the planet's surface. Instead, nothing happened. In the Rocky Mountain Command Center, Admiral Gray watched the alien attack on his tactical display. The energy beams struck Earth's quantum shield and simply disappeared, absorbed completely by technology centuries ahead of the Council's understanding. "Shield status?" he asked calmly. Dr. Wells checked her readings. Shields absorbed 100% of their attack. Power levels actually increased by 2% from the energy absorption. Gray nodded. "Send the energy to the nanite swarms. It's time to show them what Earth can really do." On the Imperial Dawn confusion turned to disbelief. "What happened to our weapons fire?" Peters demanded. "Where are the impacts?" "Unknown, sir," his tactical officer reported, frantically checking sensors. "The beams just vanished." "Wait," detecting strange readings from our hull. Across the alien fleet, the space debris that had gathered around their ships suddenly came to life. Billions of nanites activated at once, their microscopic quantum weapons beginning to eat through the alien vessel's hulls. "Hull breach on decks 3 through 7. Someone shouted. "Something's cutting through our armor." Peters watched in horror as small holes appeared in his bridge walls, spreading like rapidly growing rust. "Impossible. Launch fighters. Target whatever's causing this." "Nanite swarms performing exactly as designed," Dr. Wells reported. "Their hull material is being converted into more nanites, increasing our attack power exponentially." Gray watched the tactical display as the alien fleet began to panic. Ships tried to fire their weapons again, but the quantum shields absorbed every attack. Fighter craft launched only to find their hulls immediately infected by the spreading nanite swarms. "They're attempting to activate their jump drives," an officer reported. "Execute Phase 2, Gray ordered. Across the alien fleet, jump drives sparked and died as quantum phase torpedoes materialized inside their engine rooms. The nanites had created the torpedoes using the very material they'd eaten from the ship's hulls. Peters watched helplessly as his mighty fleet began to crumble. "This is impossible. They're primitives. How can they?" His words cut off as the bridge lights flickered. On his command screen, a message appeared. "We warned you. Once." In the command center, Gray gave his final order. "Activate the quantum fold. Let them experience their own weapons." Dr. Wells pressed a sequence of commands. Around Earth, space itself seemed to bend. The energy of every alien weapon fired in the last 5 minutes was suddenly released, redirected back at the ships that had fired them. The alien fleet's own energy beams struck their failing shields, amplified by quantum technology they couldn't understand. Ships began to break apart, their once proud hulls now riddled with holes and dissolving under nanite attacks. "Sir," a young officer reported, awe in his voice, 80% of the enemy fleet is already disabled. No human casualties, no damage to Earth or our defense systems." Gray nodded, watching the tactical display as the mighty Third Battle Fleet of the Galactic Council fell apart in silence. "Love the time. And make sure our sensors record everything. The galaxy needs to see what happens when you ignore Earth's warnings. The battle wasn't over, but its outcome was already certain. Humanity's centuries of preparation had just met the Council's arrogance, and the universe would never be the same. 90 seconds. That's all it took for Earth to destroy the most powerful fleet in the Galactic Council's history. On the failing bridge of the Asterisk, Imperial Dawn Asterisk, Fleet Commander Peters watched his mighty armada crumble into space debris. Warning lights flashed everywhere as nanites continued eating through the ship's systems. The proud commander fell to his knees as reality hit him. They had completely misjudged Earth's capabilities. How? He whispered, watching another cruiser dissolve into glittering dust. How could we have been so wrong? In the Rocky Mountain Command Center, Admiral Gray studied the tactical display with calm satisfaction. The alien fleet was now mostly destroyed, with only a few ships still partially intact. "Time report," he ordered. 93 seconds since our first response, sir," Dr. Wells answered. "The nanite swarms have consumed 92% of their fleet. Remaining ships are completely disabled." A young officer looked up from his station. "Sir, we're detecting multiple distress calls. They're broadcasting on all frequencies to the Council." Gray nodded. "Let them broadcast. It's time for the galaxy to learn the truth." The Asterisk Imperial Dawn's Asterisk Bridge was barely holding together. Through holes in the hull, Peters could see his other ships breaking apart, turned to dust by invisible weapons he couldn't understand. The mighty energy weapons of the Council proved useless against Earth's defenses. His tactical officer, voice shaking, gave the final report. "Sir, 487 ships destroyed. The remaining 13 are dead in space. We can't even self-destruct. Our systems won't respond." A new message appeared on their failing screens. "Your weapons are disabled. Your engines are offline. You were warned." Dr. Wells approached Admiral Gray with a tablet showing the final battle data. "Should we finish the remaining ships?" "No," Gray replied. "Leave enough intact to carry our message back to the Council." He pressed a button on his command console. "Open a channel to the Asterisk Imperial Dawn Asterisk." Peter's image appeared, his once proud posture now broken. Behind him, his bridge was in ruins, glittering with the remains of nanite activity. "Fleet Commander Peters," Gray said calmly, "do you understand what happened here today?" You deceived us," Peters managed to say. "You hid your true technology." "No," Gray corrected. "We warned you. Once. Your arrogance led you to ignore that warning." He leaned forward. "Now you'll carry our message back to the Council." Across the solar system, the remains of the Third Battle Fleet drifted helplessly. The nanite swarms had gone dormant, leaving just enough of each ship intact to support life and basic power. Earth's quantum shields shimmered into visible existence for the first time, a breathtaking display of power that encompassed the entire planet. In the 13 surviving ships, the crews watched in awe as their sensors finally showed Earth's true defensive capabilities. The primitive civilization they had come to conquer had just revealed itself to be centuries beyond their own technological level. "Send the final message," Gray ordered. Every surviving alien ship received the transmission simultaneously. To the Galactic Council, Earth's warning was ignored. "The destruction of your fleet is the consequence. We have lived in peace for centuries, watching your empire grow through conquest and force. That ends today. Earth now stands revealed. Remember what happened here. Remember what one warning means." In the command center, Dr. Wells reviewed the battle data. Total elapsed time from first strike to victory, 93 seconds. No human casualties. No damage to Earth's infrastructure. Complete success. Gray looked at the tactical display showing the remnants of the alien fleet. "Have the nanites left them enough power to reach Council space?" "Yes, sir. Their engines will function at minimal power, enough for a long, slow journey home." "Good," Gray nodded. "Let them take their time. Let them think about what happened here with each passing day of their journey. Outside, Earth's quantum shields continued to shimmer, now visible to the entire galaxy. The message was clear. Humanity was done hiding, and the universe would never be the same. 1 week after the battle, Admiral Gray stood at his office window in the Rocky Mountain facility, watching the sunset. The quantum shields around Earth were still visible, a gentle blue shimmer in the sky that reminded everyone of how much had changed. The last survivor ships have passed Mars' orbit, Dr. Wells reported as she entered the office. At their current speed, they'll reach Council space in about 6 months. Good, Gray nodded. Plenty of time for them to think about what happened here. In the ruins of the Imperial Dawn Fleet Commander Peters sat in his damaged quarters, writing his final report to the Council. His hand shook as he documented how Earth had destroyed his fleet in less than 2 minutes. The ship's remaining power barely kept life support running. The lighting flickered constantly, and holes in the hull showed the stars beyond. Earth's nanites had eaten away exactly 90% of the ship's mass, leaving just enough to get them home. A precisely calculated humiliation. "Commander," his tactical officer called through the broken intercom. "We're receiving transmissions from Earth's Defense Command. In cities across Earth, massive public screens showed the truth about humanity's technological advancement. People watched in awe as their governments revealed the defenses that had protected them for centuries. The quantum shields sparkled in daylight, their energy patterns creating beautiful auroras visible even at the equator. Children pointed at the sky, asking parents about the strange lights, while adults marveled at the technology that had been hidden in plain sight. In the command center, Dr. Wells pulled up the latest data. The public response has been overwhelmingly positive. People are proud, not afraid. They understand why we kept it secret for so long." Gray sat at his desk, preparing humanity's first official message to the galaxy. On his screen, images showed the remains of the Council fleet drifting slowly home, a deliberate reminder of Earth's power. "Send this to all known civilizations," he ordered. For centuries, humanity watched the galaxy. We saw how the Council treated primitive worlds. We discovered the ruins of New Eden, learned of the countless civilizations forced to submit or face destruction. So we hid our true progress, waiting and preparing. Today that ends. Earth stands revealed. We seek peace, but we will not be threatened. The remains of the Council's fleet serve as proof of our resolve. We warned them once. Remember this. In the Council's distant capital, the first emergency signals from the 3rd Battle Fleet finally arrived. The Council chambers erupted in chaos as the reports showed their supposedly invincible fleet reduced to scrap by a primitive world. The Council leaders watched in stunned silence as Earth's message played on their screens, showing the complete destruction of their ships. The quantum shields now visible around Earth served as a clear warning. Humanity had surpassed them long ago. Back on Earth, Admiral Gray met with his command staff. "Phase 1 is complete," he announced. "Now we begin Phase 2. Dr. Wells brought up a galactic map. "We've detected 17 developing civilizations under threat from the Council. Should we proceed with the protection protocol?" Gray nodded. "Send the stealth ships. No world should face what New Eden faced. From now on, Earth stands as guardian of the younger races." As the sun set on this new era, humanity looked to the stars with pride instead of secrecy. The quantum shields continued their gentle shimmer, now a symbol of hope for oppressed civilizations across the galaxy. In his office, Gray typed one final entry into Earth's defense log. "Today marks the end of humanity's isolation and the beginning of our true role in the galaxy. We emerge not as conquerors, but as protectors. The Council ignored our warning, and in doing so, they freed us to defend those who cannot defend themselves. Let history remember. Earth warned them once. That was all we owed them. What follows now is a new chapter in human history, one where we no longer hide our light from the stars." The universe had changed forever, and it all started with one ignored warning.